Hey guys, it's Liv, and I wanted to chat with you today about attitude during IVF. And the reason why I want to talk about this today is because I happen to be struggling with it today. So it's something that this cycle I made the conscious decision to approach with more importance than previous cycles. And the reason why is because if you've watched our infertility story, you know we've thrown a lot at this. We've tried a lot at this point, and this will be our fourth cycle. And if we're not successful, it's really important that I'm in a good state of mind to move forward. And I'm not ready to move forward. I'm not ready to give up on a biological child. I'm not ready to give up on, I'm more ready to give up on the experience of pregnancy if I meant to have a biological child, but there's a lot of things that I'm not ready to move on with. And so I guess I'll start by saying this, that if you go into a cycle and you believe it's not going to work, you are just like negative and feeling like there's no way, this is just a stepping stone, it's not going to work. There's no point that I should be doing it. I'm just doing it because I need to do it, and I've got embryos and I'm just going to do it and we'll see what happens. That is a coping mechanism. That's what we do to prevent ourselves from hurting down the line. But the truth is no matter what, when we say it's not going to work, it's not going to work, when it doesn't work, we're still heartbroken. Because we do still have that little bit of hope deep down that we've buried, that we're not willing to admit that we have, it's still there. So just because we decide that it's not going to work, telling myself this is just a stepping stone, we're still going to have the pain. So you might as well go into the cycle with the positive expectations, because it could end up doing you more good than harm. So I guess for me, the biggest thing that I'm focusing on is visualizations. I watched I've known about visualizations. If you've heard or seen The Secret, it's, widespread knowledge that if you visualize something, it gives you a greater chance of actually achieving it. It makes it more accessible to you. So that's something that I definitely have tried to do in the past, but I haven't made it a priority. And I watched this Oprah clip on YouTube, you could look it up, and it's her reflecting on her interview with Jim Carrey from years before, and they show that clip as well, which is a really great clip. But Oprah talks about how it's very important to set that intention, believe it's going to happen, at the same time letting it go. And that's something that I'm personally struggling with right now, because I'm holding on to that intention with white knuckles as hard as I can, because I don't want to believe that it's possible I'm going to put all this work in and it's not going to happen. So I haven't let it go to the universe, and I'm still in that state of resistance where I'm saying I want it so badly, it has to go the exact way that I want it to go. Otherwise, I'm doomed. Everything needs to go exactly how it's meant to go. Otherwise, it's doomed. I need to think positively. I need to do this. Everything falls on my shoulder. Otherwise, it's doomed. It's doomed! So I have to find a way to say, you know what? I'm going to do all these things. If I forget this or this happens along the way, that's okay. No matter what, I'm working towards that goal. Everything that I do is with the intention of achieving that goal. So doing so without the resistance of the experience itself, because let's just call a spade a spade. IVF is not fun. Frozen embryo transfers, although easier, still not fun. This cycle of infertility, the ups and downs, the roller coaster, the emotions, the doubt, the hope, the despair, all of it, it's a lot to handle. And it's so important that we say, you know what, it's okay that I'm experiencing these things. It's okay that I'm struggling. It's okay that I'm upset. It's okay that I'm fearful. That's part of my experience. I'm not going to resist it. Because as soon as you start resisting it, you're bringing up emotions of fear, and you're focusing on those emotions rather than on the positive emotions of what you want to achieve. So that's what I'm kind of getting at when I'm saying resistance. So anyways, it's a great clip if you want to go have a listen. It kind of gives you an indication of what I'm talking about. But otherwise, you know, I'm trying really hard to say, you know what, if this cycle doesn't work, there are other things I can do. There are other ways for me to achieve my goal, which is to be a mother. And although they may not be in the way that I believe I want, they very well could be the way that it's meant to be for my life. I'm having this experience for a reason. And sometimes we get hints as to why we're experiencing things, and we can accept that. Sometimes we have no clue until after the journey has ended. So, you know, I'm trying to, throughout the process, be aware of, you know, some of the silver linings or the things that I'm gaining from the experience, but it can be hard while you're going through it and you're in the pain to not focus on that pain. So I'm trying to focus on that pain right now so that I can let it go. And it's, you know, I'm a bit emotional for that reason, because I'm trying to work through all of this and say, you know what, I'm going to leave this all on the table, and then when I start my cycle, it's just positivity. I'm not going to worry about the crappy side effects. I'm not going to worry about my hot flashes, which still suck. I'm not going to worry about any of that. That's all part of the process, and I'm going to embrace it. But if we're talking about visualizations, I am literally every single day visualizing myself in the process from the preparation for the transfer through to the transfer, through to pregnancy tests, through to ultrasounds and beyond, until I'm picturing myself with a big belly, children in my arms, all the rest of it. I am visualizing all of it, and I'm visualizing it every single day. The more you do these visualizations, the more you're able to believe that they're a possibility, that they can be part of your future. So for me, the actual act of seeing it being our embryos put in me is an important key element, because it's saying, I'm not just focused on pregnancy. Because if I'm just focused on me being pregnant, it could be with donor sperm, donor egg, donor embryos. It could be with any of that. So if I want it to be a biological child, I need to visualize all of that. I need to visualize it being my egg, his sperm, our embryo in me, and me being pregnant as a result of that. So I need to visualize that whole process every single time I do that visualization. I can't just say, okay, I'm going to choose this visualization, I'm going to do this. Every single time I'm doing this visualization, I'm trying to do the same thing. Sometimes I get further, sometimes I get less, sometimes my mind wanders. I accept all of that, but I still try and maintain my focus as much as I can. So other things you can do with the visualization: visualize yourself as the outcome. I mean, if you want to be a mother and that's all that matters to you, visualize that. You can choose. It's up to you. You can customize your visualizations however you want. You're the one doing it. It's in your mind. It's in your imagination. So it's a really easy, simple, quick thing to do. So why not do it? I do want to talk about the belief itself, though, and beliefs. Because when I started this video, I was talking about how some people go into their cycle and they're like, I just know it's not going to work. Well, I watched this video another video called Brick Wall Beliefs. It's by, it's like Basher or something. And it's, it's a little out there. So when you watch it, just look for the message in it. Don't worry about the person who's saying it or what they're purporting to be doing. Just listen to what they're saying in the video. But basically, to give you the rundown, it's this, that they're called brick wall beliefs because when we believe something, it's solid. It's there, it's ingrained, and it becomes part of the fabric of our being. So when I'm saying that I believe everything happens for a reason, there's nothing that can change that. But that's, in my opinion, a positive belief. Believing that your cycle is not going to work is a negative belief, obviously. So when you have a negative belief, it creates a wall. Ability to believe that it could have a possible positive outcome is around behind that wall and you can't see it. You're focused on the wall in front of you. So he compared it to a yin and yang symbol. That's why I was holding my hands up like this before. A yin and yang symbol. So, there's the white part and then the black part. And in each side, there's a little circle of the opposing color. And so if you think of it this way, as those little dots, circles, being the door to the other side, the white side is a positive belief. And you see the door. When you're in the light, when it's bright out and there's light flooding in, you can see your door. You can see the door, it's there. You know that you could have a negative belief about it. You know it's there, but you choose not to open it. Whereas when you're in a negative belief and it's dark, so imagine yourself in a pitch black room. You don't know where the door is. You don't see the door. You're not even aware of its existence. You're just caught up in the fact that you're in the dark. And that's all you can see. That's all you believe is possible. So it's this weird thing where when you choose to be in the positive belief, you know it's a choice. You know, okay, well, I could choose to be negative. I could think about it this way, but I believe that it's going to work out. Versus when you're on the negative side, you're like, this isn't going to work out. There's no other possibility. It's not going to work. You're stuck in that negative. So I think it's a really interesting thing because when we're going through an IVF cycle and we're saying it's not going to work, when we ingrain that belief, when we're in that belief, we have no other ability to choose. We don't see the door to choose to be positive about it. But if we can be aware that there is a door, that it is a choice, that we can choose to believe something positive, then you can open that door and go to the other side. So I think that's the first thing that I want to say that is really, really important, is to know that your beliefs are a choice. And the more and more you focus on them, the more fuel you're stoking the fire with. So I think that for me, I want to believe that it's going to work out. Do I have those other fears that it's not going to? Sure, but they're on the other side of the door, and I'm going to choose to stay on this positive side of the door. I don't want to go to that side of the door because once you go in and you close the door behind you and you turn around and you don't know where it is anymore. So I want to stay on the positive side. I want to stay over here. It's much easier to choose to be on the positive side and just kind of ignore the door and stay away from the door than it is to be on the negative side and have to work really hard at retraining your mind that there is an opportunity to believe there's another outcome. Finally, the thing that I'm doing for my positive mindset is meditation. If you're starting your IVF cycle tomorrow, then, sometimes I would just say, go with the guided meditations. There's Circle and Bloom. There's also, actually, I really love Vibrational Child. You have to pay for them. Both of these, you have to pay for them. But I like Vibrational Child because it's much more of a energetic belief. And if you've seen some of my other videos, I'm into all sorts of energy and crystals and all that kind of stuff. So it's more in line with sort of how I believe I want to bring my child into the world. And you have to choose one that's going to be right for you. But there are options out there, and those are the best ones that if you haven't done a lot of meditation, pop it on. You don't even have to think about it. You lay back, sit up, whatever you want to do, and it takes you through the whole thing. When it's done, you sit back up and you're done. Whereas for me, I do a mix. So I like to do meditation sometimes with my crystals while I'm doing energy work, and I'm specifically thinking about a certain thing. So, I'll be placing my hands over my uterus, and I'll be meditating, asking, the angels or the universe or whatever your belief is, God, what have you, to assist me in creating an environment for my child, for our embryos to implant into, for successful cycle, for pregnancy, whatever. So I meditate and I have that intention through the meditation. It's similar to visualization, but less centered on the outcome and more in the process. So I'm, meditating that this is a positive space and I'm light and calm and stress is falling off of me. I'm breathing in white, clean air and breathing out dark, negative attitudes. And there's a lot of different things you can do through your meditations, and everyone's different. So that about sums it up, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions at all, please put them below in the comments. Also, if you enjoyed it, give us a thumbs up, let me know. You can also subscribe to my channel. We'll be following throughout our infertility journey, sort of the process that we're going through and the outcomes and the struggles and sort of strategies that we're doing along the way to kind of keep sane and make it a most successful cycle. So thanks for watching anyhow, and we'll